Football, a sport that connects millions across countries, across continents, across the world. A passion that transcends time and space. A love strong enough to elevate us to the highest of highs in euphoric bliss, or leave us plummeting to the depths with devastating heartbreak. Join us as we explore some of the most memorable moments in recent footballing history, along with the impacts they may have had on players, teams, and the beautiful game as a whole. Welcome to the Split Second. What is up, guys, and welcome to today's episode of the Split Second. Now, everybody knows I've always advocated for the positive ability of football to bring people together and to sort of just be used as a positive way to resolve conflicts, but also to promote, fitness and whatnot. But sometimes football goes dark. It goes very dark. And a lot of it sometimes stems from fans' inability to differentiate between fantasy and reality. At the end of the day, we idolize footballers. They are our heroes and sometimes they are our villains, but they are still people. And at the core, they're still just like every one of us. Sometimes footballers' allegiances change based on multiple things, whether it's behind the scenes issues, whether it's money. Sometimes it's also just wanting to be part of a different project. Transfers really do change perspective when it comes to football. So I think today we can look at probably the most hated transfer in footballing history. Before that, we gotta go back to 2000. The 21st of October, Luis Figo making his debut at the new camp. Now, Figo was one of Barcelona's shining stars in a period where they needed players who were just a step above everybody else, and that's exactly what Figo was. He was so creative, he was so tricky out wide. Figo was the perfect Barcelona player. But today he'd be turning up at the Camp Nou in the colors of Barcelona's most hated rivals, Real Madrid. The story behind it is a little foggy, there's a lot of rumors and whatnot, but from what I've been able to gather, basically Florentino Perez had been running for presidency at Real Madrid, and part of his campaign was that he promised he would bring in all of these superstars. Today we call it the Galacticos period, but back then it was just promises and nobody really expected Perez to win. One of the players that Perez had contacted during this period was actually Luis Figo, and a verbal agreement was made between the two that should Florentino Perez win the presidential election at Real Madrid, Figo would sign at Los Blancos. This obviously created a very sour taste in all the Barcelona fans' mouths and the higher ups at the Barcelona boardrooms as well. They felt slighted by Figo, but Figo quickly put everything to rest shortly before Euro 2000 by stating that he would be a Barcelona player. But then everything changed, simply because Perez actually did win the election. As it is, El Clasico is already a very heated affair. But for one of their own to have jumped ship and joined the other side was unforgivable for a lot of the Blaugrana fans. At the match, Barca kind of took the lead thanks to Luis Enrique, who in his own right switched sides as well from Real Madrid to Barcelona. And Barca fans had already felt that they owed Real Madrid some payback based on how Luis Enrique was welcomed back at the Bernabeu following his transfer. A free kick was played into the box and Enrique got his head on the end of the ball and it went into the net. And from there, it just got worse for Real Madrid because every time Los Blancos got a corner, Luis Figo would have been expected to take it, but for his own safety, he was advised to stay away from the corners. Simply because as soon as he got near the corners, he was bombarded with all sorts of objects from the fans, be it paper money, which was obviously fake, whiskey glasses, I think there was a bottle thrown as well, and it was just borderline chaos. But it got worse for Los Blancos after in the 79th minute, Simao scored as well after a cross was not cleared in the Los Blancos box and he just got on the end of it and managed to put it in the back of the net. It wasn't the best homecoming for Luis Figo, but it would get far, far worse for the Portuguese winger. All the chaos of Figo's transfer culminated in the match at the Camp Nou on the 23rd of November, 2 years later in 2002, when in the 72nd minute, when Figo actually did pluck up the courage to start taking corners for Real Madrid, somebody threw a suckling pig's head at him. Can you imagine the shock of just being there ready to take this corner? Obviously, you know the fans are not on your side because they're calling you things like traitor and Judas. But to actually have an entire pig's head just flung at your feet, the referee had to actually stop the match, I think for about 12 minutes, just hoping that the fans would calm down. That match would end goalless, but it would be remembered specifically for that pig's head. But all of this was simply a result of that transfer in 2000. Real Madrid would go on to build their Los Galacticos squad, featuring the likes of Raul, Fernando Morientes, David Beckham, Steve McManaman, Luis Figo, Zinedine Zidane. It was a fantastic squad with individual brilliance, but it still failed to culminate in the massive trophy haul that they expected. Barcelona, on the other hand, went on to just continue as they were. They asserted a period of domestic dominance over the Spanish league that will probably be very, very hard for any team to replicate. But I think this entire affair of Luis Figo transferring to Real Madrid will not be remembered for the fantastic things that he did at Barcelona or what he brought to Real Madrid out wide and individually. It will be remembered for the fact that he was the player that had an actual pig's head thrown at him. Hi, thank you for making it to the end of this video. We really appreciate the watch time and the fact that you took some time out of your day to spend it with us talking about the sport that we all love. If you enjoyed the content, why not, drop a like down below or comment in the comment section. Maybe even consider subscribing to the channel. And I mean, while you are here right now, have a look at some of our old videos too. They should be appearing on the screen right now, along with that subscribe button, so you know exactly what to do. Thank you so much, it really helps with the YouTube algorithm. And have a great day out there, and we hope to see you again very, very soon. Thanks, stay safe.